Hey guys, and welcome to another list video. This time we're going to talk about The Simpsons, Season 32, our top 5 and bottom 5 episodes of the season. Now, keep in mind this video is going to be a lot shorter than my Family Guy one, because that one, I noticed, I kind of rambled on too long, and it took me way too long to finish. It took me like a week just to put that video up. So, this one is definitely going to be a lot shorter. So, you know, to be honest, I am a little disappointed in this season of The Simpsons, but hopefully my list is something that maybe we can agree on, or maybe you have something better. So let's get started. So we're gonna start with the bottom 5. So at the bottom 5, at number 5, you got 3 Dreams Tonight. This is a kind of a 3-story episode. You have Lisa being like you have a 3-part episode with Lisa doing something, Bart doing something, and Comic Book Guy doing something. And Comic Book Guys is the one that's only somewhat interesting, but the other 2 are just nothing. They don't do anything for me. This episode is just a flat-out boring dud all around. At number 4, we have Yokel Hero. This is an episode where Homer takes Cletus to be a star after he discovers that Cletus has talent. And then it starts kind of following a checkbox of a star is born. So, you know, it's funny at first, but then it doesn't do anything interesting, and all the jokes are like typical Cletus or hillbilly jokes, like, oh, he's stupid, they have weird names for their kids, they talk funny. It doesn't really do anything, and that's why it's also on this list. Manger Things at number 3. Oh man, I don't know where to start with this one. I did a review on this one a while back. I review everyone, but this one I went a little more in depth. And I have to say, I really did not like Manger Things, mainly because it's so unoriginal. It's derivative of a lot of other episodes. There was another episode called I Won't Be Home for Christmas. And, you know, while that one wasn't great, it was a lot better than this one. Mainly because, you know, while this one doesn't have the same feelings or even the same type of resolution that I Won't Be Home for Christmas has. This one is Homer is sad episode. He's just sad the whole time. And it's all because of him being dumb. And Marge disowns him. It's happened so many times to count. I probably couldn't even name all of them. And this episode is one I'd like to forget. Burger King's at number 2, an episode about Mr. Burns entering the plant-based business. And, you know, Lisa starts to develop some kind of, I'm not sure how to say it. She kind of develops like a new respect, you could say, for Mr. Burns, but I didn't buy it, to be honest, because Lisa has never respected Mr. Burns as an individual, let alone a business tycoon. And him entering the plant-based business, it seemed like a way to just kind of change it, and I was very uncomfortable with that. I did not like a single moment in Burger King's. I do not want to watch it again. I think already watching it once was already enough. Like, I struggled to get through the whole episode. And at number 1, the 7-Beer Itch. This is a marriage crisis episode. Oh God, for the millionth time. A lady named Lily comes to Springfield looking for love, and she falls in love with Homer while Marge and the kids are away. First of all, this episode is the ultimate of derivative. Like, we've had, how many episodes of Marriage Crisis has The Simpsons had? I think at least what, 50? And this is another one of those. Yeah, this is somehow the most boring, the most bland, it's probably the worst one out of every single one. Because other Marriage Crisis episodes, at least they provide something a little different. You know, this one has that quick fix resolution where Homer falls in love with Marge's singing. Oh my God! And please They need to retire her voice actress. Her singing is so off-key. I'm not sure if that was meant to be funny, because it definitely did not click for me at all. And it's not funny either. A lot of the jokes don't land. I laughed maybe twice in the entire episode. Or maybe even chuckled. Like, I didn't think any of it was, like, hilariously funny. Like, seriously.
We love you! Stop following!
Okay!
But that's pretty much it for negative episodes. All these are show ran by Al Jean, which, I'm sorry. None of these clicked for me at all. I respect everyone on The Simpsons, but none of these episodes managed to make me smile, or some of them barely made me smile. Like, none of them were memorable. All of them were bland and boring and uninteresting, especially the 7-Beer Itch. But I want to get more into positives, because, for every negative, there's got to be a positive. So, let's start the positives list now. So, at number 5, we have podcast news, a podcast thriller type of episode where Abraham Simpson, Grandpa Simpson, gets accused of a crime on a podcast. It's funny, it's well-paced, it's interesting because it's nice to learn more about Grandpa, and I really like how the episode plays good social commentary on podcasts, because nowadays podcasts are pretty popular in the country, and this episode does a good satire of how people quickly believe into things that are on podcasts, and it has the good message that you shouldn't believe in everything that's said, and I like that. Uncut Femmes at number 4, a heist episode, and this one has Marge gets sucked into a heist after she gets partnered with Ralph Wiggum's mom, Sarah Wiggum. So, first of all, I really like this one because it explores a really bland and nothing character. Like, Sarah has been in The Simpsons for 32 seasons, but we never really got to know her outside of Ralph's mom and Chief Clancy Wiggum's wife. But this episode shows us more to that character, and it's done in an interesting and fun way. The entire heist as a whole was great. I liked the plan, the execution of it, just everything about it was such detail. It's so good. It's easily one of my favorites this season. That's why it's on this list. Do Pizzabots dream of electric guitars? This is number 3 on my list. And surprisingly, this one is actually one that I've been growing to really, really like. Mainly because I like the social commentary, like podcast news, that this episode provides about nostalgia and childhood figures. Obviously they're parodies of Chuck E. Cheese, but the good thing about it is that it provides some good flashbacks into Homer's teen life, and the entire pacing of the episode is great, from having that entire flashback to then Homer being able to find all of them to make them come back and reunite, only for J.J. Abrams to come and make a movie. And the movie, and Homer actually ends up getting them reunited, but not exactly in the way he kind of wanted. It's funny, it's great, it's one you should definitely watch. The Dad Feelings Limited at number 2. This is a comic book guy focused episode where after he and his wife Kumiko babysit Maggie, Kumiko then demands kids, but comic book guy's not comfortable with it, so Homer and Marge decide to help him, figure out whether he wants kids or not by babysitting their kid. And of course, comic book guy's not comfortable with it, and when Bart and Lisa need help or attention, he doesn't know how to react to it. This is an episode that I actually really like, mainly because it focuses a lot, not just on comic book guys per se, but it focuses more on his bond with his wife, and also leans into something more with the character other than, oh, he's just a nerd that likes comic books. It leans more into something where you'd be like, oh, this is interesting because because it focuses a lot on his wife, who is also mostly a nothing character. And this episode really gives them some good character development. It's also really funny to start out with. I mean, to be honest, a lot of the episodes are on here that are on the best list are actually funny, but they also provide interesting moments and great scenes like this one.
Impregnate me at once!
But you never wanted children. You always said our marriage is perfect as it is. I mean, can you imagine a child playing in this room?
It's full of toys.
Yes, well, yeah, but it's selfish to bring a new life into a world with diminishing resources. The planet is running out of watchable IP. They say by 2028, all we will have left is the General Mills cinematic universe starring Hamburger Helper.
And at number 1 is our recent The Last Barfighter. Yes, this is an episode that has really taken the number 1 spot because of its action sequences. Its story is so interesting from start to finish. It has Mo starting out joining a secret society of bartenders. It kind of brings it back to a flashback and how he's not supposed to break the sacred rules. But then when Homer and his friends want Mo to drink with them, he then decides to break his rules, and the secret society then gets revenge on Homer and his friends. It's such a great story from start to finish. Everything shines nicely. It's quite funny as well. But the best thing is, like, it just solely focuses on that one thing, like Mo's plot. Like, that's all the episode focuses on, and that's what makes it so good, because it's dedicated to making this great episode. Focused, and it's so focused and dedicated to making it that it will be great, and it's easily the best of the season. Not only because of that, but also because it's they're able to make a story with and kind of alter the timeline. And before you guys say anything, the continuity of The Simpsons has never mattered. Like I could say that with other shows, like shorter shows, but Simpsons has been on for so long that continuity literally does not matter. You can change the timeline for any episode, and it's not really going to change anything. These people are changing the timeline a little bit. They kind of can play with it to make a good episode, and if that's what they need to do, I'm all for it. Like, honestly, I didn't even hate that 90s show all that much. I didn't even think it was that bad. But a lot of people say it's terrible because it adjusts the timeline. And personally, the timeline, again, has never mattered. So I respect them for being able to change the timeline to make this great episode. Kudos to you, Simpsons writers. And Matt Self.
Pick your prize!
Grandpa, baby, this is the easiest choice I've ever made. Look what I won on Spanish Crusty.
Oh my God, that is not just any crystal skull. It's Calavera Gritando. That tequila is so authentic that it inspired George Clooney to make his own semi-authentic tequila.
So, as for the season review of The Simpsons, surprisingly, this was an okay season. Like, it was better than Family Guy's, but it wasn't that all great. Like, a lot of the episodes in this season were really duds. In addition to the worst 5, you had other nothing episodes like Undercover Burns, Now Museum, Now You Don't. Even some of Matt Selman episodes, like, for me, they just didn't click. Like, A Springfield Christmas, Panic in the Streets of Springfield. And then if we go back to more of Al's episodes, you have Diary Queen, which attempted to be a nice, sweet, kind of send off. It's a little late, but it just didn't really click for me. And like to be honest, like, there'd be another episode on this list that's worth watching, or maybe two of them. Like, I Karamis would be number 6, but that one slightly missed out. And then you have some other solid episodes like The Man from Grandpa, from Carolina Mine, which is worth a watch. It's gotten better with rewatches. I wouldn't say it wouldn't be on this list, but it was close. And then you have Mother and Child Reunion, which is a pretty nice future episode, to be honest. So those 3 just slightly missed out on being on the list. The rest of the season as a whole wasn't really all that great. So, as for scores, I'd say a C+ is a very generous score to a pretty decent, okay season of The Simpsons. Like, if you were to translate that into something, I'd say it's probably like a 5.5 or 6 out of 10. Because a lot of the episodes, as I said again, didn't really click for me. And I hope your opinion is different than mine, at least. So, those are my, that's my season kind of review and ranking the best and worst episodes of the season of The Simpsons. I want to know what you think in the comments, of course, because this is my YouTube channel, and you guys are free to share what you think as well. So, again, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time, which will be the Bob's Burgers list. Goodbye.